So I'm going to talk about um, the need to have the right mentality or the right mental attitude. Um, if you want to be able to sell to total strangers, as I said in the first installment of this series, I'm not a fan of the philosophy of going through friends and relatives. I've read literally thousands of articles over the years, and I've seen people write this stuff. Well, if you are from the developed world, the so-called developed world, Obodo Onyibo, according to our Igbo friends, um, I guess it works in their own markets because I would say people are more sincere. But I would say another reason why that works, going to family and friends to help you start out, is because people believe in the win-win philosophy. Of course, they also have bad people with wrong mentalities there, but generally, people are much more positive in their disposition to one another. So, but out here, I learned the hard way that many people will not want me to grow, to prosper, and to thrive more than they are doing or more than they think they can do. So if they feel that giving me a chance is going to let me jump over them, as it were, and become more successful than them, or make more money than them, or do better than them in whatever area of business I'm into, they will deliberately withhold their patronage of my services, even if they know that the services and solutions I offer, I am probably the best at it, and I will be able to serve them the best. They may not be in the same line of business with me, but they will refuse or hold back, refrain from engaging me to do stuff for them because they believe, they are thinking, they are afraid that if they do, and then through them other people discover me and I begin to, then I, like in Nigeria they will say, and I blow, then this guy is going to be bigger than me, so they would rather not give me business, and they will not tell anybody about me, but they will know I'm there. And there are some that will even keep me like that so that they can keep me, I will never develop the confidence to be able to think I can charge more, so that they can put me in one shirt pocket and bring me out and use me as what they call the show pony. The show pony, the pony that does some special tricks that are so unique, but it's only you that, you are the owner of the show pony. So you are the one that knows what buttons to press and make the show pony to do his tricks and get people to tell you, wow, where did you find this show pony? So they try to do that to you. They put you in a shirt pocket. And this is one of the things I saw over the years. I never was a person that had that attitude anyway, in terms of going out to look for friends and relatives to help me out to find clients. But that was one of the things that made me resolve that I would crack the code of finding business without needing to know people up front. So what I want to talk about in this installment has to do with the need to adopt a win-win mentality. One of the things that is killing businesses in this part of the world, Africa in particular, Nigeria specifically, okay? So I don't know where you're listening to me from, but I'm telling you this, and believe me, even those who are not living in Nigeria but who have Nigerian blood, they display this attitude in other markets. It's only when they are amongst people from other from other cultures that they try to kind of, the way our people are when they go to other countries and they obey the traffic lights. But in their country, the minute they get back from the same, these same people, they were in a different society. Let's say they were in Europe and they obeyed all the laws and all the rules and all the regulations and all the traffic laws. But the minute they get back into Nigeria, within a matter of hours, the same people transform into these monsters and they're going through all the traffic lights without stopping, and they're insulting people like they never left the country, So it's like we have a multiple personality disorder or something. Anyway, so my point is, I found out that people in Nigeria in particular, and then some parts of Africa, they have this tendency. They do not want to have win-win relationships. What they want to do all the time is to have an unfair advantage over you. This does not help you find clients that are going to feel like paying you good money. When you have that mentality, it will not help you to find profitable clients that are not previously unknown to you. there's a spiritual dimension to this, but I'll talk about it in the next installment. I don't want to go into that now. The spirituality that, and it's not about religion now. There's a kind of spirituality, all right, that is required for success in business using this strategy I'm describing. And I'm going to talk about it in the next installment. But let me elaborate on what I'm saying with regard to this issue of the win-win mentality. You see, you cannot convince anybody to do business with you that you do not already know, right? Somebody you don't know, a total stranger. You want the person to believe they should give you business. They should, how do I put it now? They should come on board and accept to pay you money to deliver his product or service to them. You cannot expect them to decide to do that with you if you carry around in your head a belief that they will not get as much as they're going to give you. In fact, I'll tell you this, you must always aim to communicate the fact that you are going to go not one extra mile, not the extra mile, you're going to go many countless extra miles to give them what they want. All right, if they give you a chance to serve them. Remember, I'm talking about people that do not know you. So first of all, when somebody that does not know you, it's more, I'm talking about, you see, if you can sell in Nigeria to people, if you can get total strangers to buy from you in a market like Nigeria, where trust is a commodity that is even more rare than gold, that you cannot find gold on the streets, right? So imagine what I'm saying about trust. Trust is more rare than being able to, than what you would experience if you were trying to find gold on the street. So it's more difficult to find trust. That's the way it is, all right? Generally, when you're doing business, and I'm talking about trying to do business with people that do not know you. And when I'm talking about business, think of the most difficult kind of business you can do in this country, in this society. It is the business of selling solutions to people who do not owe you anything. It's not like you're a member of their church. They don't know you from Adam. They couldn't care less about you. In fact, if they saw videos and pictures of you, they wouldn't even bat an eyelid. They don't know you. They have no reason to know you. They don't see any reason why they should listen to you. Those kinds of people, you've got to get their attention, generate interest in them, stimulate them to have a desire, all right, in your solution, and then inspire them to take action to do business with you. I just used I used a sentence that contained 4 key words: action, interest, desire, and action. Attention, interest, desire, and action. Okay, those are the main elements in the sales process. All right. So a lot of this is rooted in science, in the science, the philosophy of selling, the psychology of selling. So this is not just me spouting stuff that is, how do I put it now? It's not me spouting stuff that is academic or theoretical. I'm talking to you based on established marketing principles and philosophies. But I'm lending it to the realities that exist in the socio-economic space you will have to look for customers. It's very important that you do that. If not, you say you went and studied something, one Oyinbo person comes and teaches you. But you want to apply the Oyinbo ideas in a market where the Oyinbo mental attitudes do not prevail, then you are wasting your time. So basically what I'm saying is this: you have to be able to convince people, that's an expression I'm going to use now, create an impression of increase in their minds when you are communicating the value you want to deliver to them. Okay, let's take an example. You want to go and convince the person who runs a real estate company that you can help them build a website that will position them better to attract customers at low to zero cost. All right, that's one of the benefits of the website. You see that there's several things you can do when you're talking about web marketing. If I generally marketing out in any form, you are either going to attract new customers, or you are going to reduce the cost of getting found by new customers. So when you want to make profits, or maybe that's the way I should put it, a better way to put it. If you want to make profits in business, there are several ways you can go about it. But 2 key ways you can go about it is you can either reduce how much it costs you to sell, all right? So you're going to save, when you save money in the selling process, they are increasing your profits. But you can also boost the number of units you sell. In other words, so you can save on time. Let's say you sell to 100 people every month. It's a fixed rate. Maybe that's your business. You've got to a point You have a fixed base of customers and you sell to them every month. It costs you 10 naira to sell to them, but you make 15 naira. What if you could get your cost down to 2 naira instead of 10 naira? That will increase your profit margin, and your price will still be the same. You still be selling to the same number of people. You make profits. There are businesses that grow like that. I'll talk about that again in another installment. So sometimes people don't realize that you can increase your profit without raising your prices. The other thing is you can increase the number of people you are selling to. You can increase the number of things you are selling, whether it's product or service. So those are the aspects to look at. But what I'm saying here is this: in terms of meeting totally new people, you have a real estate client, a prospective client you are approaching. You say, okay, I can build a website for you. But the man received the proposal last week from a team that came from a web design company. A team of 4, they were wearing suits, because this company is not a small company. And so you get leave out. You're just coming to them and saying you can build a website. So I'm telling you actually this based on the real story. Okay. And so you come into this place and you're telling them, Chairman, I can do this for you, just give me a chance. And believe me, if I help you do this, these are the things you'll be able to do. You get visibility. The positioning of your brand will be superior to that of other people in your industry, blah, 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 blah. I'm talking about a real company, not just an individual. This was a real estate company, big company. They had branches in about 4 cities. All right, so the guy looks at you and saying, Chairman, why would my director is not around now. The senior partner is not around, but I'm the second in command. If I accept what you're telling me, I'm going to tell him that we've got somebody that can actually solve your problem for us. You see, because we had a team of people that came. They were using all this presentation, PowerPoint. I know they had a car, an official car they brought. They were telling us what they could do for us. The only problem was, they were not speaking in a language that we were able to really see exactly what they were going to do for us in concrete terms. He said, the reason why I'm listening to you and I'm telling you this is because the way you describe what you can do for us so far, it sounds like what my boss will want to hear. But let me ask you, what are the assurances you can give us that we'll be doing the right thing by engaging you? I'm going to tell my boss, and I'm putting myself on the line here, blah, blah, blah. You're not giving me anything, of course. But this guy was talking to me like that. And, imagine you were in that scenario. What would you say, okay, to that client, that prospective client's representative? This is like the gatekeeper now. I talked about gatekeeper in the first installment. The gatekeepers are the people that you have to pass through in order to reach the decision maker, who is the one that can sign the check. I tell people this all the time. I'm going to tell you now. One of the best ways to avoid wasting your time when you're marketing is to make sure that the people you communicate with or you connect with to do your marketing, in order to save your time, effort, and money, make sure the people you communicate with are the people that are in a position to get you as quickly and closely as possible to the gatekeeper. To the decision maker who can sign the check. So those are the gatekeepers, but there are different levels of gatekeepers. Some people try to present themselves as gatekeepers with influence. Watch out. The people that are very eager to convince you that you need them in order to reach the gatekeeper, more often than not, don't even have the influence you think they have or you're hoping they have. So this is important. You've got to keep that in mind, so you don't get yourself used and dumped. Many of these people will just flex based on where they are in the hierarchy in the company, but more often than not, they cannot offer you anything other than, go, come tomorrow, don't worry, I will talk to him for you. It's a lie. They'll get money off you, get all other things off you. I don't give money to anybody. So let's get this straight. When I'm talking to you about it, if you're listening to me, if you do business in Nigeria way, you can't enjoy it. Let me put it like this. If you do business in Nigeria and you believe in doing business in Nigeria way, the way that has to do with thinking, you have to grease every palm to be able to rise up the ranks, to be able to get to the people that you need to get to, forget it. I don't have any value to give to you. No, I don't have anything you want to hear. I do have value to give to you if you are willing to listen and learn a new way of doing things. If you don't want to learn a new way for doing things, you want to continue with the nonsense of Nigeria, that's what I call it, the nonsense of Nigeria in that regard, and please do it. Because Nigeria is extremely good at so many other things. Nigerians are superb entrepreneurs. But it's just the market, the environment forces people to think that they must do manner in a very inefficient approach, using a very inefficient approach. That's why I'm saying this upfront now. Don't waste your time with my videos if you are looking for someone that's going to be telling you about nonsense like giving everything I do, and I have proof to back it up. Everything I do, every business I've gotten, I didn't bribe any fool. in fact, nobody even had the courage to talk to me like that, because first of all, the way I positioned myself in talking to them, they knew that was out of the question. It was the way I presented myself. Somebody said you have to dress the way you want to be addressed. So my own dressing is not so much in terms of the clothes I was putting on alone, but also in the manner in which I communicated. It made it clear that in fact, they never even thought about that, because usually when I communicated, the people I chose, you have to be careful the way you choose those you approach for business. They were people that were serious-minded people looking for solutions. All right, and of course, if there were people in the organization that were thinking in those along those dirty lines, by the time I opened my mouth and began speaking, it was clear that was out of the question. So that saved me a lot of trouble, and you need to adopt that if you really want to go far, using the ideas I'm sharing in this video series. All right, well, let me not ramble. Let me go back to what I was saying. So this guy is asking me, or asking you, so how do I know I'm not wasting my time? How do I know it will not be embarrassing? I'll not be embarrassing myself eventually by introducing you to our boss. And I said, listen, boss, basically, what I'm asking to do for you, I've already done my homework. Are you guys not at www so and so? But there's nothing there. He said, yes, that's true. I said, well, I've checked it. You did this website, you registered this website about 5 years ago. How can a brand like yours, with all these cars, you have all these official cars I see all over the place, and I know you have branches in so many, about 4 different states, some of the major states in Nigeria. How can you have all this and not have an online presence that is befitting of your status as a leading real estate company? The guy looked at me and said, well, you see, that's what I'm talking about. I said, I told you some people just came and said, yes, they came. But believe me, bros, it's not about bells and whistles. It's not about all these PowerPoint slides and all this flashy stuff. What are the specific things they can deliver to you? I'm telling you that you must be very specific in terms of what you choose to pay for when you are talking about using the web to sell solutions like real estate. All right? And I told him, I said, look, if they came to you and told you all those things with a team of 4, are you sure those 4 people that came to you are the ones that will do your job? Or those are just the marketing people that don't have a clue about how to get results on the internet? How many of them can tell you how much money they have made selling on the web? The guy said, that's a good point. He said, because when I was talking to them, they were telling us that if we hire them, they will not bring the developer who will not. So the developer was not a member of their marketing team. The developer had no influence so much in talking about in talking to the prospective client about what will be needed, what will be delivered, and all of that. So they had a marketing team that did not include a core member of the development team. So that's a disconnect there. So anyway, by the time I told this guy these things, and then you see, I wasn't busy shooting down the other people. All I did was to do a comparison for him and tell him that, look, I'm talking to you as a person that has results to show. And I told him, take a look at my own online presence. I may not be, Mark Zuckerberg or whoever else, Steve Jobs or whoever else is supposed to be a whiz on the internet. I said, but let me show you what my own online presence does for me. And I gave him examples, and I showed some proof of it. Literally everything I did in terms of what I was saying, I used his own computer to do it. I said, can I have your laptop? You have connectivity there. If they don't have connectivity, I use my own phone. I put on my hotspot and I said, look, let me show you something. And I showed them and I said, look, if you want to do this, blah, 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 blah. Then, your company, I noticed that your boss even does interviews in some of the top newspapers or does write-ups that are public there. I have a feeling you are paying for them. Actually, the feeling I told him I had, it wasn't that it was a feeling. From working with another client who's in the medical sector, I knew that these newspapers will not let you write. Even when you're writing an article that's supposed to benefit their readers, you pay for it. So I knew that the exposure the man was getting, they were paying for it. And I said, why do you have to let them leverage that nonsense over you? Do you realize that you are doing them a favor by lending your voice as an expert to share an opinion or an experience about what you do in their medium for their readers to get at zero cost? That alone should make them happy to have you publish and give you space without asking for money from you. So the fact that they are making you pay is nonsense to me. All right. So basically, I told him all those things, and I said, when you have this platform, it will allow you to reach even potential clients or partners that the newspaper medium your boss has been publishing in will not have access to. You see? So, and I said, let me tell you why it's important for you to think like that. You see, because you cannot afford to limit yourself to the consumers of the newspaper medium. Because this was about 2010. I was saying, look, the market we're in now, the era we're in now, digital platforms are going to kind of be, they are going to be the primary means of communication and consumption of information. So the sooner you get yourself onto that platform and make it your, and leverage it as intelligently and efficiently as possible, the better for your brand. The other newspaper mediums, leave them to keep doing the stuff they are doing. They will continue to have what they call a 24-hour shelf life. You publish today in it. By tomorrow morning, there's a new edition. Your stuff is gone. So, and I told them, I said, look, when you do this, when you go online using the strategy I will develop for you, which I call a web marketing system, by the way, I told them that basically what's going to happen is that you will find that you'll be lowering a lot of your costs. You will spend less money on all those things. And by the time you put up your material, that the same material you're publishing on paper, by the time you put it up using your own platform that is branded with your own company name, positioning you with all your photos, your graphics and everything, listen to me, you become more attractive to those same newspaper mediums. They begin to see you as an expert authority. Then they will seek you out, you see, to get you to come and give a bit of yourself in their medium. You become a celebrity, quote unquote, that they want to interview. I'm talking based on experience. I've been approached by journalists and I've been interviewed in newspapers. The only thing is that when I saw the quality of the output of that experience where I was interviewed, and I saw the manner in which I was quoted in the first person, and I was quoted with bad English, bad grammar, bad phraseology, I decided I would never do that again. I'm not two-faced Dibia, but I tell you, when you see, you can become slightly famous in your field for what you do. You don't have to become a public figure to be slightly famous. You can be extremely good at what you do, so that in your market you become quite well known. Most people might not even bother to mention or come directly to you to tell you they know you, but they'll follow you. This is something this is kind of benefit I enjoy. So basically, I was able to communicate the fact that they had so much more to get by engaging me, all right, and that they did a comparison in their minds. And the guy got to a point where he said, you know what, coming tomorrow, so and so time, you see my boss. I'll tell him you're coming. Please make sure you bring all the other stuff you mentioned, blah, 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 blah. When I came in the next day, all I had to do was to build on what I had said before. And believe me, that same day, I picked up a check. This was way back in 2010 when I still used to do pavement pounding. You know, I used to go around, drive a car, and go to people's companies. I would just walk into a place I had never been before, people that did not know me, but usually I would have done my research on them, sometimes for weeks. I wouldn't come in there to even talk to anybody. I would simply watch the companies. I had a way of profiling my targets, my prospective clients. I would profile them. This was when I was, like I said, doing pavement pounding, looking for clients by going around physically, even though I was selling digital solutions. Get it? So I would go around and I'll do this. And then when I profile them, I got my information together. Then I'll present the information in a manner that show that, look, there's a win-win for this. I'm just a one-man business. I'm a one-man show. I'm a solo entrepreneur and I'm small. You see, but that also makes me nimble. That makes me very, I have low operational overheads. So you see, you can afford to hire me because I cost less. But because I'm only one person, the amount you think you are paying me, which is less, is okay for me. But if you have to pay a team that brought an official car with 4 people to do the same thing I'm offering to do for you, you're going to pay a lot more. So you see, there's a benefit there for you, there's a benefit for me. I get to handle a big brand that I would otherwise not get. You get to get what the big brand that came to you wanted to give to you at a fraction of the price. And look at it this way. What I seek to establish are long-term relationships. So beyond the job I'm going to do for you, I'm going to actually be doing A, B, C, D for you, going into the future, supporting you till you get yourself up and running using this solution I developed for you. You can see that this is a no-brainer. If you take me on board, let's sign up this thing, let's come to an agreement. I'll start this thing for you and I'm delivering to you in 20 working days. That's typical delivery duration I have for those kind of solutions. I call it development of a web marketing system. So, and you know, what I just described to you is a process I went through to win a client. At that time, in those days, building websites, you know, there were people who were web designers years before me who had become my enemies in Ikeja in particular, Ikeja area. They didn't like me. I kept popping up. You know, I was like a ninja. I would just go make sales, selling completely digital solutions to Nigerians and Africans and non-Africans using the web. I do not go and knock on doors anymore. I stopped that over 10 years ago, and I make good money. In fact, way more money than I was making when I was moving around doing a lot of pavement pounding. And the things I'm hoping to share with you are what has enabled me to achieve that. So unlike most people, when you see me walking out on the streets, I'm not walking. If you see me go out of the home or walking out to meet with people face to face, 99% of the time I'm not doing any business. I'm actually going to, many of the times I just go out to print my stuff, for my magazine, my free magazine I distribute. I talk to people, I take my kids out, I help them with their work, things like that. But I'm not doing business. I'm not looking for clients. I'm not engaging in business discussions. None. I do whenever it's when I'm home that I'm working. All right. This was a deliberately long session, and I do plan to make it to be 15 minutes to 20 to 30 minutes each installment. There's so much value. I can continue like this every single day for 365 days of the year. Believe me, I have more stories. Look, sometimes I just sit down and just remember another story. I start laughing. So there's a lot you can learn from me. Please follow me on this channel and any other platform you find me. All right. I wish you well. My name again is Tayo Shalagbade. You can get across to me through the email address tayo@tksola.com, and also check in the comments, check in the description for the YouTube video if you're on YouTube, or if not, if you're on any other platform, just check in comments for other details. I wish you well.